Hi, this is Skull, and welcome to Making DROD Touch Part 2. In the previous video I talked about the scripting behind the gameplay of the hold, and in this video I will cover how the meta joke of the hold, yeah, I keep saying game, has been created. So, some time ago, many years ago, I have started a hold, which I'm not going to talk about in detail, but one of the things about that hold was that it was supposed to be this, fake game inside the game with a title screen, achievements, achievement tracker, credit sequence, being able to exit the game, like you're able to exit, oops, this is options, like you're able to exit in DROD Touch. I never really continued working on that hold for various reasons, but when I got back to this project and had support from Kieran to make better puzzles, I felt that this could actually be, rethemed to be this hold about game inside the game. I will talk more about level design in the next video. I think in the future video, but excuse me, along with this change, along with introducing this meta joke, there was also a lot of changes in the level design. So anyway, let's go into how this joke was made and what are the elements of it and how they are scripted. So we have the loading, the loading screen of the game, where it shows loading assets. Of course, there are no assets to load. This just shows a single image. Let's see, where is it? This will be text. Loading assets. So yeah, this is just displaying a single image overlay in the middle of the screen for a couple of seconds, and that's it. Oh, I guess I duplicated some logic here. Yeah, and for 3 seconds, then just go to the title screen. There isn't anything else here, this can be removed. On the title screen, we have a bunch of player entrances. I'll get to it in a second. So it starts with an image overlay of, it starts with, I think, just a pit in deep spaces, and in deep spaces pit is entirely black. We have a couple of scripts here. This script is... oh, I'll have to get back to it, probably in the closing thoughts. Change the location, title screen, location text, sets player role. Oh yeah, so this is responsible for displaying the background and the logo, and depending on where you start, either it appears very quickly when you go, or very slowly. So on the first time you open this, you start and enter title screen, you are teleported to this level entrance, it's called first show, and this script detects if the player position is here, then display everything slowly. Otherwise, display the backgrounds quickly, and it's the same for this script, yeah. And this script is responsible for displaying the options, like new game, select level, options, exit. And what it does is it checks player starting position, and if it's in this column, then it sets the certain variable to 0. This variable is used to set the initial delay for displaying the text. So essentially what it does is if player is here, starting here, then display things slowly, otherwise display them quickly. And that's it. This just displays the images, then these respond to player inputting something. This is checking if player is here, if player position is on the same row as I am, and player is trying to use any of the options to select it, then oops, then just click it, and in this case, depending on what's going on, if you have not started the game yet, then go to the loading screen of World 1. Otherwise, create the function, create the entity which teleports you to a specific level depending on the value you set. This is for level selection. Just, if you have started the game, then allow you to open the level selection screen. Just go to options and just go to the exit screen. So the options screen. These characters just display the, this text. These characters display the values. They are in a loop, and depending on the value, they display specific image overlay, and that's it, nothing else. These 5 characters are for detecting if player is trying to click an option and toggle it. And these, the ones in this column, the ones in this column are just for, teleporting player to the next option. Like, if player is in my position, then teleport him somewhere else. And this sets the initial position of the player. This is just some room location text, displaying background, and so on. Setting the music. Nothing complex here. This is a bit worse, the level selection screen is a bit worse. I have this debug script here. Also, a very cool thing to do is using labels for comments. It's going to save your butt if you have any very complex scripts. And let's set it to 31, I think is the value for completing the game. Yeah, so the script here is a bit more complex. I won't go into the details because depending on how many levels you have cleared, the arrow should behave differently. Like when you go left from here, it should wrap you to the 3rd column. But if you press left here, it should be 4th column. When you go down from here, you should go to exit. If you go down from exit, just go to the 1st screen, and so on and so on. All of this logic is here. If you have master of the hold, you can see it. I am not going into the details because there's nothing interesting here, just a lot of number crunching. The numbers for levels is just level select number script. Oops. This is the old version, this is the new version, and it, depending on its position, it determines what the level, which level it represents, and depending on your current level completion, just use specific appearance, and that's it. And then go to exit, and that's all. This is the exit in game, yeah. This is just a joke. Initially, the joke worked in such a way that it would continue forever and you had to restore, but Hold administrator noticed that it's not very clear where to restore from, so I made it go back to the title screen after some time. And if you completed the game, it goes to the Hold end. And the credit screen, just one huge image overlay that scrolls vertically. Yeah, and that's it. This is the title screen section. There isn't a lot of complex scripting here, just a lot of groundwork, preparing graphics, coming up with the ideas, importing graphics, doing image overlays. As you have seen, we have this many text images, quite a lot for the tips, selecting level options, for roles, so on. It does a lot of manual, boring work, but the effect is well worth it. Then we have the 4 loading screens for each world. Of course, as previously said, it's impossible to load anything in DROD. I could maybe do some number crunching here with scripting, but anything I could create here, I could just hard code and it would be 10 times faster, or maybe 100 times faster, or 1,000 times faster. So there's really literally no reason to script anything in that requires number crunching. So this is split into a couple of scripts as usual. This is the script that just sets the title screen and player role, and this is the one that displays the tip, set it on the center, set the alpha to 0, do not display it for 2.5 seconds, fade it fully in a second, display it for 3 seconds, and fade it out in 1 second. Then we have showing the black screen, waiting, hiding the black screen, and teleporting to the first level of the given world. Then we have the script for the rotating number. So this is the number. It just sets some initialization. It's a very simple counter, which, you know, one variable which starts at 0, another which is the speed. When every frame it increases the first number by the speed and reduces the speed, and when speed goes to 0, it starts accelerating in the other direction. And once it passes the threshold of the first counter being 0, you know, starts decelerating. So the effect is you have this, you know, sinusoidal effect, the sinusoidal value, like and apply this value to rotation. So instead of being movement, it's rotation, and you have this effect. The jumping text, oops, is almost the same script. What? So go to oh yeah, jumping world, the jumping text, right? This one, loading world, is just is a similar idea. You start with some position value and some speed going up, and it, you know, gravity pulls it down, so the speed, it decelerates, it changes the position, and when it hits the bottom, it just restarts from the very beginning, and that's it. And the final script just loads the background. And that's it. It's identical script for every single one of them. Jesus, what am I doing here? It just changes the images used. And I think that's really it. That's all about the scripting of the meta puzzle. Like, we also have some. We need to track progress, and the progress is tracked in a variable. Let's see. ST is for state, current level, and continue level. So, and its campaign. These are the 3 variables that are important for the progress. So, when you select start game or continue on the title screen, it sets isCampaign to 1 and sets current level to some value. When you start, it sets it actually just sets isCampaign and teleports you to the loading screen of the first level. Now, you may remember from the level initializer. Oh, I broke everything here. If I try to play it, it would not work. So, level initializer. We had this here. What it does is, this script has processing sequence 1000. We're also, in every single room, there is a script with processing sequence 1, which does 3 things. It sets the music, it sets the room location tags, you know, the one up here, and it sets the value of current level to the value of the current level. This variable, current level, is used in a couple of things. So, when it comes time for level initializer to execute this script, it checks if you are currently playing in campaign mode, so if you pressed start on the title screen or continue on the title screen, then it sets the continue level to current level. And continue level is the number of the level to play when you select continue on the title screen. Also, the continue level is used on the level selection screen to determine, actually I could have just done it here, to determine the, which levels are available already. So yeah, I'm setting this here, right, for the debug variable. If I set it to 4, it means the last level I have entered, the furthest level I have entered in the campaign mode is 1, 4, which means levels 1, 2, 3 in world 1 will be white and selectable, and the fourth one will be red. And this means I can check some, yeah, okay. And this is it. This is all the use this has. It's also used to check if you can in the exit screen, if you have not mastered the hold. If you have not completed the hold yet, then it will show the error message, but if you completed the hold, then it will take you to the end hold screen. Let's see. And this is what's done. So 3 variables is campaign for tracking if you are currently playing in campaign mode or not. So if you go to level selection screen and select a level, what happens is we can actually just I can actually show you what happens. So Control F7 and list of this. So, ignore this 5, I change orientation of a character. So when you go to 1-2, you may have noticed that temp was set to 0 and current level was set to 2, which means we are playing level number 2. And if you complete this level now or return to title screen, it remembers the current level you played and it will set your position to the position of the arrow to the appropriate space. And this is it for tracking the progress. So wait a second, my wife is sending something to me. Apparently my wife is not home today, and my kid has cried in the evening that he wants to go home and he wants me to read him in his room in the evening. Oh, now I feel bad. Anyhow, is there anything else I can say here? So, no, really, and no. The one other thing that I required, because the progress is not linear, is this. So I have been talking in the previous video about this using characters as functions, and one of the functions that I have is going to a level depending on the current level set or temp set. And it just, for level 1, go to the entrance, for level 1, for value 2, 1, 2, all the way to this, and apparently this, which is used for, I have no idea. I know what it's used for. So I think in the post mastery area, it's made so that, yeah, when you complete any of the puzzles, or no. Okay, this one actually didn't work as I thought. But if you complete any of the puzzles, you should be taken back to the editor. No, you're not. Okay, this is incorrect. Alright, so the idea was that it would, current level is -1, so when the function go to level by number finds that it's -1, it would take you to the end of the hold. But I guess it doesn't work, so never mind. So this is it about the scripting of the meta joke. It's simple. There isn't anything in particular that is difficult to script. It just takes time, come up with the idea, get the graphics. Because I have been a developer of DROD, I have access to all of the assets in the original format, so I had things made a little bit easier for me. But still, there are a lot of texts in the game. And it took time. And also, a little bit maybe just a little bit more about the background for this idea. So I said at the very beginning of this video that I had this idea before and I just decided to adapt it for this hold. And the overall theme of the game, DROD Touch, should be obvious just from the name. If you have any experience with mobile games, you'll probably recognize the titling method that, okay, this is a mobile game. If you didn't connect it just from the title, if you looked at the description of the thread on Caravel forums for this hold, it says mobile. And generally the idea originally was that this hold is going to be like a mobile game. So simplify all of the rules, get the bare minimum, inspire myself with some other games I have played, which I will talk about in the next video, I believe, or maybe 2 videos, I don't know. So generally that was the plan, and that was also this kind of fed into the idea of creating this meta joke, a game inside a game, and it pushed me to make it more than it was, because you know, I could have just gone the easy way, you know, make a title screen which does nothing, just start the game and play it through and be done with it. But as I was developing this idea further and further, I wanted to add more features, and I realized, okay, what if actually I treat it seriously? Let's treat DROD script not as a, you know, functionality for extending slightly gameplay and adding, you know, slight story elements to a hold, but instead treat it like a game making tool. So this hold treats DROD engine not as a DROD engine, but as an engine for creating turn-based, grid-based games. Or something like that. Yeah. So that's it. This is how the meta joke was created, developed, and finished. Thank you for watching, and see you next time.